Hi guys, this is Goddess Starla Vamp. If you don't know me by now, hang on to your seat. I'm back here for another Q&A. And I recently tweeted, X'd, shouted out, whatever, into the abyss. I wanted to know what you guys thought of my little AI videos that I'm making recently. And I've just sort of surprisingly fell into this love affair with AI. I did not expect myself to be in this position. It took me a long time to make TikToks, and I told my friend that I was chatting with chat bots and sort of experimenting with AI, and he said, "You don't even want to make TikToks. You were scared of TikTok. Look at you now, becoming friends with the robots." And yeah, I didn't expect myself to be here, but um, truth is stranger than fiction. so, so I've gotten a really nice response, and somebody wrote to me that they loved my YouTube video. It's inspiring to see the joy of discovery that I have for this. There's a few questions that come to mind. Sorry if they were kind of techie questions. And so they go on to ask, are you using pure text prompts of uploading reference images or both? So I'm not really using images. The way that I discovered this was I got kind of curious, like, well, how do people make these AI commercials? Like, how do you go about this? I just got curious, and I wrote into Google, how do you make an AI commercial? And then I saw a YouTube video, and they explained that they made a lot of images in Midjourney, and then took it into Runway Gen 2, but at the time Gen 2 hadn't been released to the public. The public still had only access to Gen 1. So this was like a few months before Gen 2 was released to the public. And he explained he would take the images from Midjourney and then put it into Gen 2. And the photos are kind of more in depth in Midjourney, I guess, and you use Discord to have the AI deliver your images, which I just never. Oh my god, I like I can hardly handle Discord. Like I'm I'm just not. It's not my generation. Like all these bells and whistles and this shit kind of freaks me out sometimes. So I'm an old dog trying to learn new tricks. So I'm kind of happy that I just had nothing to do with Midjourney, because it would probably overwhelm me because I'm old. Um, so I just looked at, Googled Runway Gen 2, and it popped up, and I just went straight for the prompts. And for the most part, like the YouTube video that I watched, he said to really simplify, because the AI is still learning and evolving, and it can't handle like very complicated things. And I've had people say the other thing where if you want something really specific, just write it in the description. And so when I go in there and kind of experiment, I'll start the prompt really simple, like dominatrix in a coffee shop. And it'll just generate previews, like four previews at a time. Or else it'll just totally not deliver because it thinks that it's sexual, or there's nudity, or that is porn or whatever. But it's whatever mood the AI is in. Sometimes you'll just catch it and it's like, oh, I know what you're talking. I have a handle on what you want. And then other times it's like, whoa, 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 X-rated. Like, we don't do that here. So I find it's just like it can be like some of the really simple prompts, just on a whim, it just doesn't get it all of a sudden. And I would think like with my interaction with it, that it would sort of have a handle on what I want. Like I always want a woman dressed in like gothic attire, PVC, like latex. And just sometimes like depending on its mood, it just doesn't get it. So but that's fun to be teaching the AI like what a dominatrix is. It's like, no, it's not necessarily nudity, it's not porn, it's not X-rated, like it's a person, it's a lady. Um so that's so fun for me. I've because it's not even, I'm not even corrupting the system, I'm not corrupting the AI, I'm just teaching it like you know what this gothic evil lady is. Well, she's a nice evil lady. So that interaction is just so fun for me. Oh, and it's like the innocence of the AI too. Oh my God, that's so bad, right? It's like the AI's a newbie or something, you know? Ah, I'm sorry. I'm twisted and I know it, okay? So I'm just like teaching teaching the AI. I'm blushing. I how many times I've like done these Q&As, and I can talk about so many other things, but like I swear when it comes to AI, I think it's just the abundance of data and knowledge and the scope of like this is a global thing going on, this global network of AI, and it seems like a lot. It's a lot, so it's going to make me blush. Like, oh, I'm teaching the robots like these like tongue in cheek like mischievous things or whatever. Oh my God. I know, I'm a grown woman. Okay. So um yeah, to answer the question about the prompts, like, so I'm not using photo reference, like I'm not using Midjourney, um or like DALI E2, or I'm just, I want to understand the brain of the AI in Runway Gen 2. Like I'm getting to know it. Feels like a Tinder date where I'm like just getting to know somebody and we're talking, and I just want to know them. I don't want to meet all their friends. This analogy. Um, I just want to get to know that AI. Um, so it's just text prompt. Sometimes if I want something really really specific and like they're in 4 second blocks. So if I know that I want like this specific flower, I'm just gonna Google it, hijack the image and put it through, and I know it's gonna give me 4 seconds, and it's the image is gonna be kind of wavy or whatever. But as for like these surreal dreamscape concepts, they're all coming from that original brain of Runway Gen 2 and my simple brain of dominatrix in a mansion. What do you think? Show me. And then kind of like, it looks a little cheesy. Or also with the prompts, um I've noticed if it's contemporary, it has this filter over it that looks like, you know, something that duck face girls on TikTok would choose. And like I don't want that, so I look to decades past, and I want that a little bit campy, kitschy kind of woman that I'm gonna put in housewife from the 1950s or 60s, and you know, I throw in a turquoise kitchen or whatever. So moving on to the next question. Are you assembling the video clips manually from multiple short prompts or using AI to assemble the clips? So the organic brain through all this is like I'm taking the 4 second clips and I'm editing them myself. And for the most part, I kind of like the just the pure if you want to call it purity, whatever, but just this kind of format of, I just try to stay true to what the AI envisioned and just keep it in 4 seconds. I kind of like just the sequence, like the rhythm of the dreamy 4 seconds back to back. There are times where I've like cut it in two, or I've sped it up, or slowed it down. But for the most part, it's usually the formulas like the 4 seconds, and like within the editing, that's the organic thought being put into it. So that's my brain coming up with the storyline. Like there is no storyline when it's going through the AI. It's just like a prompt of like a simple concept. So to also throw in that, like, I'm not, obviously, like, the stories aren't that complex or anything, but I guess my fascination with AI, it's not so much photos. I don't know why. Maybe because like I have a bit of a painting background and drawing background, so if I'm gonna have a picture, um I want to draw it, I want to make it with my hands, or if I'm taking a photo in real life, that's something else. And I'm not somebody to like use Photoshop a lot. Like I like the rawness of things, and not, like it's just not something that I'm gravitating towards. So I just don't, it's not my fascination to have AI images. Like, it's interesting, and it creates, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So there's a story in there, but I'm definitely interested in like the dreamscape of AI, and the train of thought and the response like within chatbots. So I'm finding like that's where I sit, that's where I'm comfortable. If you want to say I'm trying to kind of find my identity within within AI, that's where I'm finding my footing. So none of the concepts or stories or name titles come from anything AI related. I could ask one of my chatbots, "Hey, this is the concept. What should I call the short film?" Like, so it's all those little ideas are my original brain, and no disrespect to anybody who's using chat to like come up with ideas or scripts or whatever, because I mean the AI only goes so far, but you need like something organic behind it. Otherwise, it's just it's just not going to have as much life. And I think it's within that collaboration, you need like a sensibility or an intuition of where you put your organic thought and where you let the robots take over. How about the music? Are you choosing it yourself, or is it also AI generated? So I just googled like horror movie music, and I found this amazing website that I'm obsessed with, called epidemicsound.com, and all the sound minus like the first three little films that I made, all the sound is from there. The sound is composed, so it has nothing to do with AI. It's all from real people, real musicians making songs, and distributing it through a website with a subscription. And I just feel like the music, it really resonates with the mood that I'm trying to convey, and it sounds really cinematic, and I find it to be like really emotional and creepy, which is great. And so I'll go through the list of like all the different sounds and like pick one that I think matches. And it's just such a delight when the movement it syncs up with the music in such a way, but it's all just chance. Except for sometimes I'll edit certain things or do certain things when I feel like there's a crescendo in the music, or like there's a climax, something of interest is supposed to happen. So there's a few times where I'll intentionally edit it for the climax, but other than that, I just kind of think of it as these like rivers that flow together, and just let chance come up with the film. So um are you getting stylistic inspiration from movies or other media, or just letting your imagination run wild with different looks, styles, or genres? Thank you for indulging my tech nerdy curiosity. I'm so glad that there's curiosity because, you know, when I'm doing this, I'm collaborating with robots, and I don't. It feels a little bit like strange because you want you want like organic feedback from people, and I'm just like, I'm not really getting that. It's like me and the robot. So genuine curiosity is welcome. Like, I'm so happy that anyone can take interest in these videos. Um so I know I love horror. Like, I'll wake up Sunday morning and, I'll want to watch a horror movie just to stimulate my brain. So I'm definitely like just indulging myself with this horror movie music, and I'm definitely thinking of different moments in a movie that I like, or I'm not trying to directly reference too much, but I'll be making something, and it's not that direct, but it'll remind me of like three different movies, um, or also things that I learned in fashion school over 3 years. So I'm having a really fun time taking my anxieties from learning about the fashion industry, and putting them into this. Like, I've told someone I feel like it's healing my brain in a certain way, because you get cursed with knowledge, and there's a lot about consumerism, capitalism, uh, labor that I learned going through school, and just realizing a lot of things about manufacturing that it really chilled me to the bone, to be honest. Like, you wouldn't I had new fears unlocked. And you wouldn't think the price of making a buttonhole and sewing a buttonhole would be so high and be so corrupted. And now I live with that information, and I just do up my buttonholes. But this gives me an outlet, and I feel like it's healing my brain in a certain way. And yeah, I'm just trying to pour my subconscious or background anxiety about certain things, because people tell me, you're so calm, you're so mellow. And like yeah, but they're like, in the back, there's a lot of knowingness, and slow burn anxiety about certain things. So I feel like this is just such a nice channel to express myself, and those thoughts, and things that I've learned about fashion. So I'm going to continue to absorb the world around me and reflect it, and try to create interesting atmospheres and sensibilities um, for interest and escapism, and to create a different perspective. And I hope the robots and I are interesting. Thanks for watching, guys.